All right. Are we live? Let me know in the comments if we are live. I don't know if we're live. Are we live? Great. All right. Hey, everybody. Can you let me know if you can't hear me or see me clearly or hear me clearly? But welcome. Thank you all for those joining. We're 144 people, which is really pretty cool. So thank you all. Really, this campaign, I can't believe how well it's doing, and it's really thanks to all of you. And I'm kind of still in shock at how far we've gotten to. And I was expecting this to last over, like all the stretch goals to last over 2 months, but now I'm kind of rushing to produce more art. And so I'm like in front of my computer every day, just like painting and but it's fun. It's fun. So thank you all so much. There's a lot of really cool stuff in the works. I'm really excited about the tokens. I showed a bit of a preview of what they're going to look like, inspired by like the old chess pieces. It's something minimal and something like that, linked to Kinfables. And it's really, I'm really excited. I'm looking into different options. I'm going to get some samples done because I really want them to feel like Magic cards, are as close as possible to the quality of Magic cards, so you guys can put them in your decks and all that. There's also, I saw many of you were happy about the sleeves. So I'm looking into that as well. So, honestly, I read every comment, every feedback that you give, and I really want to make these campaigns as special as possible for you all and offer you the best campaign experience as possible. And speaking of campaign experience, this art director thing is really fun. I received 700, over 700 art descriptions, and I have to tell you, it was really, 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 really hard to pick my top 10. Really hard. And there were so many great choices, but we just, for the sake of, I couldn't have us vote on 700. So what I did, how I select them is I kind of just read them, and then if I had an image kind of pop in my head, and if I felt it inside, like if it resonated with me, I usually I put that one aside. So that's how I kind of just went about it. But in the end, the decision will be up to you, and there's going to be 10 to choose from. So why don't we just dive into it right away? Let me just look at the comments real quick just to see. Great. Okay, cool. So yeah, feel free to. We'll go. So for this live stream, what I was thinking is we'll go over the art descriptions. We can talk about them, and then talk about the next steps of what we're going to do. And then we could just do like a general Q&A. If you have any questions for me about anything, feel free to ask, and I'd be happy to answer. So without further ado, let me pull up my list of top 10s here. I'm just going to put this in another window. Okay. So kind of cool that it was a tie between the two creature types. We had half the people voted for Angel, and half the people voted for Phyrexian Angel or Phyrexian type. So like we had an option to either just do Angel or combine the two. So I tried to do my best to also kind of split it. So there are options that are just purely Angel, and then there are options that are Phyrexian type inspired Angel. So let me start with the first. Oh, and by the way, there are certain submissions here that didn't come with an email, so I have no idea who submitted them. So if ever the description gets picked, please let me know who you are, if you recognize yourself, and then because there are prizes, and I can get to that later. All right. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I always get nervous doing these live stream things. Okay. So the first one, I'm going to start with the one that was the most common. And it was pretty much, it was a, okay, hold on, let me get to it. Yeah. So the most common submission was seeing a fallen angel, but being transformed into this Phyrexian angel with the getting corrupted by the oil, essentially. I don't know too much about the lore behind Phyrexia. I just know the general lines. But I find it really fascinating. It's really interesting as a concept. So it was really tough because I had, honestly, there were probably like 100 submissions that kind of had the same concept. So it was really tough to pick one. But the one I picked that kind of, I think, described, it felt good to, I got some ideas reading it, was from pandemoniumarts@gmail.com. And so the location, it will be, okay, option 1, location. A delta polluted with Phyrexian oil, draped in hazy mist and scattered with withered trees. And then the action, what we focus on, is a fallen angel pulls itself from the contaminated delta, oil dripping from its skeletal silhouette. Its wings are flared out, matted and tinted black from the sludge. The foul oil infects the body, shifting flesh, wing, and body to smooth mercurial metal as it consumes the host. Death and decay linger in the air as this horrific yet beautiful transformation takes place, as if seeking perfection. The birth of horror as hope dies. So that's, I found that was quite a nice art description. So congrats on getting picked. And then in terms of mood, this was added as well. The air is ominous, filled with suffering and pain from this horrific transformation. So, that, like, to see a once, maybe glamorous kind of angel getting corrupted by the oil it's a concept that resonated with many of you. And so that will be an option to pick. So very cool concept. I already have images in my head. I could definitely provide up to 3 sketches, I'm pretty sure, of like that concept. So it could be fun. So that's one. And then let me go back to the top and just start from there, because that was the most popular one. Now this one is just number 2. This one is just an angel, black and blue creature. Location: a once thriving town destroyed in battle. And the description is a forlorn angel flies over the town. She wields no weapons, nor does she seem in any way equipped for combat. Below her, what was once a village teeming with life has been reduced to nothing but rubble. It seems as though the angel is bringing itself with her, as the sun. It seems as though the angel is bringing night itself with her, as the sun sets before her while the moon begins to rise. And the mood was gloomy. Now, when I read this, this image popped in my head. It got my imagination going of this kind of ruins. And they could even be more like cathedral, perhaps ruins, or of a town long ago. And then this kind of more, we can delve into the abstract a little bit, where you have an angel flying and pulling the night, kind of similar to Soul Herder, the artwork I did for Soul Herder. Where he's kind of bringing the night with him. I don't know. I felt there was something cool about that that we could do, and that it would just purely be an angel, not typed to Phyrexia. So that's an option for those who just selected angel. So kind of a nice concept. Next one. This one will be a black creature, Phyrexian angel. A female Phyrexian angel has multiple talon-like appendages and/or wings that could be used as weapons. She is standing above the wreckage that has occurred from a large warlike battle. She is the only one that remains. So, and the mood is calm, stoic, observant. Why I chose that one is because, again, I kind of liked the image of a battlefield, right? And having, it's kind of like the lone survivor type of scene. And I got this image. I don't know if for those who've seen the Animatrix, there's that one short where it's like the robots, it's the story of how the robots kind of took over the world. And it's very eerie, but I kind of got that feeling, of like this kind of skeletal robotic angel just standing alone in a field of the battle with like silhouettes of spears sticking out and stuff like that. So that would be really fun to do, and that's why I picked that one. So that was really nice. And this one I didn't get the email. It was, for some reason, I don't have it. So whoever recognizes their description, please, you can message me. Next, this is, again, a Phyrexian angel, black and blue. Location is an oil slickened sea at sunset. This one was nicely written. So I'll go into it. A blonde angel with porcelain skin floats over the oil-slicked sea. Ethereal wings resemble the gossamer web of a spider. The setting sun peers through her skeleton-like ribs. Her left arm carries an ornate scythe to show her connection to death. Her right arm is extended to the viewer, beckoning them closer. Then the mood is the austere angel coming to collect her prize. So I like this one, and I picked this one because there was one detail in that art description that I found really cool, which was the sun, the setting sun, shining through the ribs, the torso. And so that you wouldn't necessarily see the sun, but it would be glowing from within the rib cage, So that's kind of, I found that was kind of a neat detail that would be fun to paint. And this is from loganlucky@gmail.com. Well done on getting picked in the top 10. This one, again, another Phyrexian type angel. And what I liked about the following one is the kind of, I like, art descriptions are great too when they leave things open to interpretation to the viewer. And sorry guys, by the way, I'm not looking at the comments for now, but I will get to them at one point when I'm done here. So yeah, going back to this one, it's kind of, when art descriptions are kind of left open to interpretation, that's really fun for an artist. And this was kind of has that vibe. So I'll read it now. So the location is cliffs overlooking the sea. A storm is arriving. So already, I love that. And all that was written was this: they arrive from the sea, heralded by a storm and lightning. Their beauty is great and horrible to behold. Mortal witnesses in the foreground cower and supplicate, dwarfed by the majesty and terror of the being before them. So, and the mood is biblical, awestruck terror, like watching a natural disaster unfold. Now, that really leaves things open to the imagination, for an artist. And I think, I'll be able to really, if that one gets picked, I'll be able to do some really interesting, I think, sketches for that. And it really, reading that, I kind of got like the feeling of like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse kind of thing, and again, we can maybe even fall into a bit of the abstraction, with how these Phyrexian type angels would look, coming from the sea. So that one that was really cool. Next one. So I forget where we're at here, but we're going down the list. This is just a black creature, an angel. Location is a putrid bog with barren trees and black water. Show a frightening feminine angel hovering just as at the surface of the water. In her arms, she cradles the mummified corpse of a fallen soldier, slime and water dripping off the body. Despite the outward hideousness of the moment, she feels it as a tender one. She comforts the forgotten soldier, preparing to give life anew. And the mood is a somber, tender scene viewed through the human filter that would find it repulsive. So again, like the image of an angel, like a black angel of death, but holding the mummified corpse of someone, was kind of nice. And I mean, it's, I mean, there's a storytelling quality to it that I kind of, connected to. So that's why I chose it. Moving on to the next. This is another black blue angel, just purely an angel. And this one, well, let me read it first. So the location is a large, bright, clean pond in a bog, like an oasis. Clouds overcast with light breaking through. Pikes and halberds poke out amidst the tall grass. Now what we see is a knight in dull armor, helmet in hand, and covered in splatters of blood and mud, walking and reaching out to a glittering angel standing on the pond. The angel beckons the knight toward her with an open, outstretched arms, inviting the weary knight. The angel is tricking the tired knight into walking deep into the bog to drown. Now this, for me, I chose it because, it's just like classic. It feels like just one of those timeless classic illustrations that you'll find in, what comes to mind are like, Waterhouse paintings, or the pre-Raphaelites or the Romantic painters, I would probably adapt that scene in that style, very reminiscent of like maybe my, Answered Prayers type painting that I've done before. Anything to do with knights, I like, and especially if it's like this kind of, beckoning or enticing creature, angelic creature, bringing this kind of character to his doom. Like that's just a concept that I kind of like, and it's basically the main point of like their latest secret lair. So it might fit well with what's already being offered on the campaign. So well done. I have this person's email. I won't sell them out loud, but so I have this person's email. Next one. Let me just take a quick break to see the comments here. Is everything okay? All right, cool. All right, so we seem to be doing good so far. Oh, 275 people watching. Woo, okay, the pressure is on. Gotta entertain. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one was chosen because it was the most maybe poetic and most vague and eerie and strange description that kind of it's the most surrealist description. So it's a black blue creature, angel, and oniric, is that how you pronounce it? World beyond reality. And all that was given to me was between dreams and nightmares, the strange figure rules over the oniric, walking through infinite gardens with tattered wings, waits on a perpetual twilight for anyone who gets lost in this surrealistic world. And the mood is breathtaking, surreal, something beyond all comprehension. So this one was by far the most abstract art description, which again is really fun for an artist because they can, like, I can really just, kind of let my imagination wander and just propose something that feels otherworldly, kind of strange. It maybe doesn't really make sense. It's, it'll be more of an abstract painting that really focuses on the feeling more than anything. So I really appreciated that art description. So thank you for that one. Okay, this one is cool. This one would be really interesting in my more maybe flat 2D style. And what it is, it's a black and blue creature, Phyrexian angel. Location is a still cerulean lake that stretches into the night. Now, what we see is a grotesque female angel lying on her side and admiring herself in a lake with a romantic intensity. She is the amalgamation of twisted steel and flesh, leaking ink-dark ichor from her wings. However, her reflection is that of an ideal angel figure, pure and beautiful. She is enamored by this false reality. And the mood is idyllic yet eerie. Now, this I found would be fun to do, right? Because you'd have this kind of duality in one image, where you'd have the lake surface, right, and on the top you have, this Phyrexian, metallic, spiky, scary looking angel, but then it's in the reflection, it's who she once was, before she got corrupt by the oil. So that I found was really unique, and it was a unique idea, and it really stood out to me. And I think it could look beautiful as a playmat or a print, to have the two mirror images like that. And yeah, so I think that would be a fun one. All right, next one. This is just a black-blue creature, an angel, location the night sky, bathed in partial lunar eclipse. And what we see is a female angel hovering in the sky with her pole arm at length, forcing the lunar eclipse. Her face is expressionless as a harbinger of the lunar eclipse. She's doing her duty with an air of pride. This is the purpose she was made for. Mood is majesty and dread. So this is it's a more open to interpretation. It's kind of to the point, like it's about an angel and her relationship to the eclipse. Like she's actually calling it, like she's responsible for the eclipse. And I think, it would make for a really interesting, image, and it just spoke to me, and it'll be one of the options for you to vote on. And next, how many do we have left here? Okay, we have about 4 left. Next one is a black-blue Phyrexian angel. Oh no, I already did that one. That was the most popular one, the one coming out of the oil. This is just a black creature, a black angel. Location is a mystical swamp with a light fog. And what we see is an angel gliding through the colorful swamp, shining light from her hands as though blessing all the small creatures that live there. The swamp's darkness is removed and a glow wherever her light has touched. Mood is quiet, solitude awakened by her light. Now this would be, I like this one a lot because it's more maybe subtle. It's more, I really see this kind of swamp but alive. Like if you go out in a swamp at night, you have the fireflies, the frogs. You have all this kind of stuff, and to have this black angel, like this dark creature, but hovering and kind of like, as it's described, blessing the swamp, I thought was kind of interesting and nice to do. And it would be a kind of cute, like I'd bring it would be dark, but at the same, and a bit eerie, but at the same time, you'd have this other feeling of like benevolence with this angel. So that's an option. So thank you for submitting that one. All right, I think this is the before last one. Black blue creature. And okay, actually I have 13. So there are 13, not 10, 13 total choices. So before last, this is a black blue creature, Phyrexian angel. And what we see is, what's asked is, show an androgynous Phyrexian angel presiding over a mass of captured prisoners from an invaded plane. Its hands are clasped over its face, and its wings take the shape of a pair of cosmic eyes that it uses to determine which prisoners are worthy of conversion into Phyrexians and which will be processed for other means. And the mood is a sense of horror, but also a macabre beauty. And that I liked a lot. Like I really see something very, inspired by, like just this, it made me think a little bit of Pan's Labyrinth, to have an angel cover its eyes, but the wings have the shape of eyes. And it'll be, and in front of it would be this horde of these humanoid with blank faces on them, and it'd be a very eerie scene. And I just thought it was cool, a cool option. So thank you for submitting that one. And this is the last one. I kind of saved like I'll be open and say like I think for me, it's my favorite, and just because I think it shows a contrast in the image that is nice. And so what it is, it's a black blue creature, Phyrexian angel. Location is a shallow marsh enveloped in gentle haze. And what we see is a sentinel angel crouches in the shallow waters. The creature wields a long winged spear. The spear is extended to its fullest length, and a vibrant, peaceful bird sits on its tip. The creature appears curious and pensive regarding the single being of beauty in a barren world. Now that last sentence really did it for me. You'd have this, this really dark and eerie and angel being, again, with like very spiky, made out of metal, just not from like doesn't belong from in nature, and yet it's being gentle towards this little bird at the tip of its spear. So I really like that idea. It's my personal favorite. I think I would probably enjoy. I see the image in my head already. And I probably I think I'd have a lot of fun with it. So that's it for the picks. I hope you guys like them. It was really, really, really hard to choose. But what I'm going to do, let me just close this window. So yeah, really hard to choose. There were so many great selections. And, I just thank you for all your submissions and really great ideas. You guys are great writers. Maybe Wizards of the Coast should do this. It'd be cool. Imagine if every set, it would be an open submission to write an art description. I don't know. It could be kind of cool. So thank you for that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to, in the next Kickstarter update, I'm going to post them. I'll just edit them and format them properly, and then post them. And then what we'll do is every backer so far will be able to vote on which one they'd like to see get made into a card. So that I'll post that tomorrow on Monday, and I'll probably wait till midweek, maybe Wednesday, to kind of call it, and then from there the sketch phase begins. And what I'll do is I'll do sketches of whichever concept gets picked, and then we'll vote again on the sketches, and then I'll do the final, and then we'll do a feedback round, and then that will be made into a playmat and a print. And then what could be kind of cool too is, again, I don't know what I'm allowed to do about making proxies. I don't think I can make proxies, but just for fun, we could maybe have fun creating a mock-up magic card, for those who would maybe want to print it for themselves, to have this image on the card, and it could be kind of nice. So I will do a Q&A now. So I am now in the comments, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to, if you have any question about the campaign, about the film, about what's going on, I will wait for a question. So I got a French question. Habites-tu encore à Montréal? Oui, j'habite à Montréal. Okay, I won't speak in French, but just outside Montreal, in Hudson. I have a really hard time living in the city, so I try to live just outside, so I could be in nature as much as possible. Let's see here. Is the film now fully funded? So that's a really good question. All right, so I didn't make this public yet in the stretch goals, but if we're able to reach 1 million Canadian on the campaign, then at that point I can move ahead and the film will be greenlit, and I will be able to go full on into production. And yeah, and then that would just be for production though. So I'd be able to shoot the film, but then I might have to do another campaign for post production. It all depends, you know. So yes, the film as of right now is not fully funded. With the COVID pandemic, it really, you know, really messed up a lot of things for me last year. Last year was not a good year, but you know, like if we reach the 1 million goal, and I'll in the next stretch goal update, that goal will be added at the end. You know, so if we get to 1 million, which if we keep the current momentum, I think it's very possible. You know, and that would be so incredible. That would mean that this fantasy film would be entirely funded by the Magic community, and like I don't like it's like that's amazing. I don't know if something like that has ever been done before, honestly. You know, so a fantasy film funded by a passionate community like you guys, like it's just, it blows my mind. So we're so close, and it's really just about, you know, I think at this point spreading the word, getting the news out there. I think also by adding tokens and by adding potential sleeves, more people might want to join, you know. So it really, if we get to that 1 million goal, the film will be funded, and I'm really hoping for it. I think we could do it. So this is a question from Karma Delia. Do you have any early art pieces that you'd like to release, a newer version, or different take than what you've done before? That's a good question. I kind of, I would say no. I think every art piece was done at a specific point in my life, and I think I always learn, as every artist does. But I don't. For me to revisit a piece, I'd rather make something new, you know. So I look back at some of my pieces, and you know, there are some where for sure I see mistakes, and I could have maybe improved it. But it's part of the history and the progress of an artist, right? So I wouldn't want to revisit a piece. Oh, good question. Stranislav Oslak, how is The Whale progressing? The Whale is done. It's done the festival circuit. Unfortunately, for those who don't know, The Whale is a short film that I produced for over 2 years, and it's directed by an up-and-coming actress director called Oriana Lehman, and she made this film that I produced with my company 5 Dice Productions and a few fantastic executive producers who hopped on board and helped us at the last minute. Also, Kickstarter, we did a Kickstarter campaign there's a whole story behind this. I won't go too much into it, but The Whale is done. It did the festival circuit. It didn't do that well on the festival circuit because of its length. It's a long short film, and festivals don't usually accept 35-minute long short films. So that's a bit unfortunate, but we'll be able to, I'm hoping I'll be able to put it online maybe next week. So, you know, for those interested in seeing this short film, I'll post it on my social media and all over the place. So I'm hoping, yeah, either next week or the week after, latest, we'll be able to share it with everyone. So that's exciting. We didn't see any art from you on Kaldheim. Can we expect to see your work on Strixhaven? Yeah, Kaldheim. My light. Okay. It's funny because I kept emailing the art directors to let me know when, because I was actually I did a concept art push. I forget the year. At least it was probably 2 years ago now, but where I actually went to the headquarters of Wizards and contributed to a concept art. I was a concept artist for one of the worlds, and when I was there, Cynthia Shepard, the art director, showed me around and showed me this wall of all this Kaldheim concept art, and it was so cool. And I'm just a huge fan of Norse mythology. And anything Viking related, I love a lot. And so I kept, bugging her, like, when is the Kaldheim commissions going to be sent out? And I think I may have missed it because I think I said yes to Tom Gencott for the artist series. And that was, 4 pieces that I had to do. And so I don't think I had time to do anything else. And that's why I'm not in Kaldheim, I think. But Strixhaven, I can't really say, guys. But maybe not. I don't know. Who are your biggest directorial influences for the Kin Fable saga? Wow, that's a good question. There are many, too much to name. But I think one director that really had an impact on me is Tarkovsky, and films like Stalker, which are like, I saw that film. I highly recommend it. It's a long film. It's a Russian film, but it's so good, and it's I really connected to it. And then there are also other films like I love Darren Aronofsky's The Fountain. It's one of my top 5 films. So in terms of filmmakers, but then there's also a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't really get in. Like, it would take too long to get into, but that's a good start to it. Can you share what was your concept art in Wizard HQ was for? No, I can't, unfortunately. Sorry. That would be against the rules. Okay, this is a good question from Neville. Have you ever been frustrated with Wizards demands versus your vision when it comes to finalizing an image? Now, that has never happened. Okay, like I really think like the art directors at Wizards of the Coast are incredible people. They're for a fantasy illustrator, it's like one of the top jobs you can get, because everyone is so cool and nice, and they actually let artists they give artists a lot of freedom. Yes, you have to there are certain worlds and certain rules and certain looks, right? But when it comes to what you want to do in an image, at least from my experience, there's never been a pushback on that. And I think maybe there's a false conception out there that art directors are like saying, "Oh no, do this, do that," or they're too I don't know, controlling, I guess. Again, I'm just speaking from my experience working with them. No, they are not. So very, very great working with the Wizards art directors. That they're really great. And you know what? I think the more freedom they give artists, the better pieces that will be created for the game. I think that's just a general rule anyway. Like, if you just let artists do what they feel inside and draw, just do what they like, usually a super amazing image pops out. So that's what it is. How's casting for your Kin Fables going? You announced calls a while back, but no update. So that's a good question regarding the film production. Yeah, so last year we did casting calls before the pandemic hit. And so that's been completely put on pause. Again, it was really the whole COVID thing. It's been tough for everyone, for the whole world. But for me on a personal level, really tough, because this has been a dream of mine for so long. And then all of a sudden the whole world is thrown into this massive, it just, everything felt so uncertain. The Kin Fables movie is that one thing that always drove me. It was my compass in a way. I kind of always knew, that's my star, I'm going there. And then when the pandemic hit, everything became cloudy, and with casting, yeah, good luck trying to cast children during a pandemic, and you can't, the leads of the film are 2 kids that are so important to cast. And I want to be able to cast worldwide. For example, in my latest short, The Stolen Child, well, I was able to cast this Russian girl, Alisa Sabirova, and who was so perfect for the role. So I want to keep that open. I want to be able to cast someone from anywhere in the world for these roles. And yeah, the pandemic is just making that impossible. However, things are looking up from what I read and what I see. So I'm keeping my hopes up. And so casting is going to resume in full force as soon as, I'm sure once the vaccines get rolled out and everything, and we start seeing a return back to normal, then I'll up, the production side on the casting. But be on the lookout for that, because that's a way maybe you guys can help as well. Is I'm not necessarily looking for an actress or an actor, young actors with experience. And now I'm really talking more about the kids, because again, they're so crucial. There's a specific look I need for that to work. And in terms of the other roles I have, well, there's again Oriana Lehman, who is the director of The Whale, is cast as the Fairy Queen, so she's still on board as the Fairy Queen. And then there are other, The Knight is also being cast as well. Yeah, I'm working with an amazing choreographer right now, developing sword fights with me and everything. His name is Rob Moncan. He might be here in the comments, like in the chat. I don't know. But yeah, so like we're working with a lot of cool people right now. So yeah, it's going. Where the momentum is slowly building as we kind of got a grips on what the pandemic is and where it's going. So hopefully things don't get worse again, because that would be just terrible. And so we'll see. But I'm taking it one day at a time, and that's where we're at. What has been the biggest obstacle for Kinfables? Well, I just said it's the pandemic right now, and the money. Like, no money. Like I just want to go, like, in terms of obstacles. For so long I've been knocking on doors, trying to get this film made, and always it was just rejection after rejection, right? Like, I tried applying to like the grant system here in Quebec and Canada, and that didn't really pan out. And it's really by turning to Kickstarter and to the Magic fans that obstacle started to disappear slowly. And over the course of 3 years with these campaigns, those obstacles, that obstacle started to disappear. And now that money obstacle is so close to being not there. Again, like if we reach the 1 million goal on this campaign, that we'll be able to like go right into it. So before, for any filmmaker, money is always an issue. Even for established filmmakers, it's always the issue. In my case, I want to do a really indie film, but I want to make a gem of a fantasy film. And it's going to be possible thanks to you guys. So really cool. Do you watch anime, or what's your current favorite show? Would you consider Miyazaki as anime? Because Miyazaki is like one of my major inspirations. So if Miyazaki is anime, yes. And then, speaking of anime, when the Damnation artwork got revealed, everyone kept telling me, "Oh, do you know Berserk? Do you like you? This is so reminiscent of Berserk." And I was like, "What is Berserk? I've never heard of Berserk." And so I started looking to Berserk, and currently I'm like kind of getting into it, and it's cool. It's like. And I know there's like that famous eclipse scene in Berserk, and I just like looked at it briefly, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I can understand why. But Berserk is kind of cool. If you have any suggestions on anime to watch, I'm open to that. But Miyazaki for me is the top, and I still remember watching Princess Mononoke as a kid. and how my mind was blown. And it really fueled my imagination. His films really did, and even today, like I don't get tired of his films ever. Actually, there's a lot of like, working with the choreographer, the sword fight choreographer. We reference Miyazaki when we're trying to figure out the choreography. So yeah. So what's the inspiration behind Clan? Oh, this is from Stanislav. Oh, you again. What's the inspiration behind Clan, or was it a sort of soundtrack to your art? Is there more in the near future? So yes, for those who don't know, I do music under the name Clan, and the entire Kin Fables project started because of music. I don't know why, but I just felt like I wanted to try, like, dive into music and see what I could do. And I just started playing around and started making this music, and then started working with these really great collaborators. And then we made this kind of band, like this Clan. And the music inspired images. So I still remember, I think, like, I first got the inspiration for Kin Fables when I was backpacking in Scotland. This was back in 2012. Backpacking in Scotland, I had on my iPod like song sketches I had just started doing, and then it was by listening to the music I was working on while hiking in these Scottish fairy tale type landscapes. These characters just popped into my mind, and they haven't left. And I have to get them out in the form of this film. So yeah, that's what it is. I didn't know what it was about at first. I just started seeing these scenes. So in a very real sense, the whole project comes from music. And yeah, so that's what Clan is. And yes, there is new music in the works for those interested. I'm working on a new small EP at the moment, and I'm also, some of the scenes of the feature film are going to be shot to music. So I need to make the music first before shooting it. And I know some directors do that. I think what's his name? Edgar Wright did that in Baby Driver. For certain scenes, he actually had the music first and storyboarded every shot so that in every cut that it went to the music. So that was really cool. So I'm doing something similar in this film for certain sequences. Okay, what else we got here? What time is it? It's 6:19. Okay, so I'll keep going for another until 6:30. So that will be an hour. So I think that's good. So it's just a bunch of comments mostly. Oh, from Austin, who is your cinematographer for the upcoming film? There's none yet locked in, but I am speaking with a few. And as soon as the full film is funded, after this campaign, really, and this campaign finishes April 18th. On April 18th, I'll know how much money I have. Did we get over $1 million? Did we not? Who knows? So we'll see. But at that point, I'll be able to start making some serious moves. If the film got funded. So. Hey Seb, do you have any update on the Erin Vest collaboration? I really love her art, and I'm so hyped for a hybrid piece. I love her art as well, a lot. Right now, she is working on it. I've seen sketches and thumbnails. So, and we picked one that she's gonna kind of finesse and create like a more tighter sketch, and then from there, I'm gonna add my own thing onto it. Yeah, her art is so beautiful, and I really like to see her stuff Magic cards one day. Will working on the film affect your MTG artwork in any way? On one hand, I would love for you to achieve your goal and dream, but the other hand, I always want more art from you. Thank you, Aviv. Yes, I mean, it will. Like, I think already now I'm taking fewer cards just because I'm like juggling, the pre-production work. Like, I do all the storyboards. I'm doing all the, again, as I said, I have to do the music. I'm working on the choreography, so it's taking more and more of my time. But at one point, I will have to like dedicate everything, my whole, all my time to it. But does that mean I will stop doing magic art? No, I don't want to stop doing magic art necessarily. So if I could continue working for magic, when I'm making the film, yes, like I'll have to probably take a pause. But it really depends, like I don't want to say I'm going to stop doing magic art. So I'd like to keep going in some form or another. Yeah. From Karma Delia, do you listen to music while you work on your art? If so, what do you listen to? Different music or different art themes? So I think I've mentioned this before, but I like to mostly, especially when you're coming up with the concept, I like no music, because if I listen to music, my mind wanders around, and it interferes with at least for me, the creative process of coming up with an idea. But then once I have once I start maybe rendering or tightening an image, which is more, it's more, it's rendering, like you're there and you're, just refining and doing stuff like that. At that point, yes, like I'll probably, again, it depends. Sometimes I like just not listen to anything. Audiobooks sometimes. And in terms of music, like orchestral music, soundtracks, I like. Ludovico Einaudi, piano music, that kind of stuff. I like a lot. Let's see. Okay, so if you do a second round of community art director, would you remove the options that won, like Angel Phyrexian? Yes. And actually, again, because this campaign is moving so quickly, like really fast, when we reach the next stretch goal, I'll probably still be working on the Phyrexian or / Angel piece. So I wanted to ask you guys, and I will ask you guys if you're okay with me maybe choosing a subject. And I was thinking what could be fun is, what is the most popular or most common, or at least famous image in Magic? For me, it's the lotus flower, right? So if I could do my own version of a lotus, that could be kind of cool, I think. So what I was thinking, and again, it'll be up to you guys, but we can maybe, we'll decide the subject has to be a lotus, but I'll be open to your, like, how does it look like? What else are we seeing in the scene? So yeah, if you guys are okay with that, maybe we could go that route, because I think I'd like to do my own version of a lotus. Yeah, it'd be fun. And I think, again, it's classic Magic, and it ties into it, and could be cool. And especially if we do it, it could be on the playmat, but then it could also be on the card sleeves. It could also be on a print. It could, so we could apply it to the other stuff in the campaign. So if you wanted like a print, a playmat, a card sleeve with it, then it'd be a nice combo, So yeah. What about the graphic novel of Kin Fables? How about making it one of the stretch goals, of course, after movie release? Yeah, so it's funny because the Kin Fables graphic novel, I'm working on it, but what it's ending up becoming is almost like the storyboards of the film, right? So the storyboards I'm doing, or when I'm working on the graphic novel, it's kind of generating ideas for the scenes or the camera angles. So Yeah, the graphic novel is in the works. It will only be released at the same time as the film. So, because I don't want to spoil the story or anything. So yeah, it's that's the news on the graphic novel. What's the favorite piece of art you ever made? Be it a painting, music, movie, or any form of art? Wow. What a question. That's a big one. Well, I think, for me, it's the Kin Fables short film trilogy because it encompasses so many things. Like, I did the music for it. I directed it alongside my brother. And it really it came from a place inside. I look back at that and even today, I don't really, like when I look at my old self, I don't know why I did it. Like in the sense of like, I just had to do it, like it was, I didn't, and there were moments when I was, even before I started, kind of prepping it, like for that first short film, Kin, I put all my own money into it, like, and it was it was a lot of money for a first, like an artist just trying to make it, like I put pretty much all my savings into it. And then I remember there were times when I questioned myself, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, just diving into this head first. But yeah, out of everything I've done, I look back at it now, and I think I became a better filmmaker through that experience. I use so much slow motion. Oh my god! Like if you watch the films, like the FS700 Sony camera had just come out, and it was allowing filmmakers to shoot at like 240 frames per second like very easily. And so we really used that a lot, but we thought it was so cool. But yeah, I think even today I could look back and I could see it just came from without sounding too weird or like, I don't know, it just came from a really pure place, I think, and that's why I like it. Where do you see in 5 years permitting the world as an end? Good question, Pedro. Directing my second feature. Yeah. And I already know what I want to do. And, for me to hopefully the film will do well enough so that it will be well received enough so that, people will take me seriously as a film director. And then that would allow me to do the next film. Kind of just, for me to make films is my big dream. So in 5 years' time, if all goes well, I'd be prepping or maybe even shooting, who knows, my second feature. Great. What else is here? Would you ever do a piece for Warhammer? Yeah. I never. I mean, we used to. I grew up with four brothers, and we spent our summers painting Warhammer figurines. I was painting Bretonnians mostly and Empire. I'd love to do a piece for Warhammer. I remember we would, over the summer, just pour over the Warhammer books, like that describe the factions and all the rules. The art in there is fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to do a piece for Warhammer. It'd be fun. Art book in the works? ? From Ian. Yes, there is an art book in the works. I'm just kind of piecing all my works together, and I wanted to do it this year, but because of the campaign, and plus there's a children's book coming out very soon. It's called The Moon's Daughter, and it's illustrated by me and written by my brother Liam, who wrote the flavor text on the artist series cards, by the way. We've been working on this children's book it's a year-long thing, but that's going to come out this year. So I want to maybe focus on that book first, and then maybe next year for 2022, do a Seb McKinnon, the Art of Seb McKinnon book or something, and make it a big one, like like a coffee table, nice big heavy coffee table book. That'd be really fun. But I want to do it right, and just this year, I want to do it this year. But with everything, I just you know how it is. Like sometimes just things don't go according to plan, and things take so much time. But yes, art book for sure. Will Moon's Daughter be available in the EU? Yeah, we're gonna ship worldwide for that book, and it's really cool. Like it's we're working right now on the graphic design. And just placing illustrations and all that, and it's coming together really nice. It's going to be a nice, again, like a gem of a book. It's going to be a high-end, a little nice package. Great. Again, from Pedro, what do you do in your free time besides art? And let's make this will be the before last question. What do you do in your free time besides art? Hobbies, what are my hobbies? Oh, wow. Honestly, I kind of just switch between different like art forms, I guess. Like I do the commission work, and then I'll switch to music, and then I'll go back and forth. Reading, that's what I do. Hobbies, I like to read fiction books, and reading. And then during the summer, just like spending time in nature, like hiking and swimming. That's pretty much it. All right, last question. It is 6:34. It's been an hour, so I hope you don't mind. We're about 192 people. All right. So last question. Let's make it a good one. Okay, so this is a good one. From Andre Sizoes. Any advice for a 22-year-old that wants to create movies? I have never seen or felt the type of emotions that Kin Fables evokes. So thank you. That's a great question. And I think you really just have to go out there and start. I think that's the biggest thing, for any kind of filmmaker, is you have to start doing something. I think for any artist, you have to just throw yourself into it and really, it's well, I can only, like, I'm not a big filmmaker or anything yet, so like, but just speaking from myself, you really have to find that thing that speaks to you inside, and you have to follow that feeling. And I think it was Quentin Tarantino that said something along the lines of, which I find very inspiring, like that you should be the one that creates that movie that the world hasn't seen yet, or something like that. Like there's so many stories out there to tell. I think the world needs stories. Like the world needs art, and for me as an individual, I feel like, with maybe like just speaking about this particular fantasy film, I want to do something that the world maybe hasn't seen yet in terms of fantasy. or maybe, yeah, just bring something new. And it's really, in a way, it's also like when I make music, it's like I want to make the music that I'd like to listen to or that I want to hear, but that is not out there yet. So as a filmmaker, if you can tap into that, like tell a story that hasn't yet been told, and the reason why it hasn't yet been told is because you have not told it, you know? So I think that would be the way to go about that. And so just start, like, even if it's like, I don't know your experience shooting movies or what you've done, but start small. You know, gather friends, pull in favors, whatever you can, and just start doing it. You know, like you could watch the first time films from, like, I remember like growing up, I remember, what was it? I think it was on like the DVD special features of The Village, M. Night Shyamalan. And on there, you saw his like first film that he did as a kid, and just shot on like little camcorder. It was inspired by Indiana Jones. It's like that's where these guys start. So you have to just start. You have to go start, do it, and really just follow your. It's a feeling thing. Like follow what's inside and bring that out in the world, and that's it. That's my advice. So thank you all for joining. That was fun. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you liked this Q&A, and I will talk to you guys soon, very soon. Like I said, on the next campaign will be, the next update on the campaign is going to be the 10 to choose from with the voting link again. And then from there, we'll just take it from there. And I just want to leave by saying again, a huge thank you to everyone who is donating to the campaign and participating, because you really, like I told you, like I said in the campaign video, it's like this has really given me so much hope, like or like a freedom, like that this kind of dream of mine that is so. It felt so like, in a way, you know, to make a movie, it really feels unreachable sometimes, you know, like it's hard. To make a film and get a film off the ground is so difficult. But you guys are making it happen. And so, like, I can only just say thank you so much. And yeah, that's it. So, okay. Much love to you all, and I'll see you back on the campaign updates. All right.